Coverage you can count on. This is WAAY 31 News at 10.
A traffic stop in the Shoals ends in a police chase and the arrest of a man with felony warrants. Details on the crash and the alleged crimes.
You know, this tree is so much more than just a tree filled with ornaments. It's filled with memory and with love and dedication.
Honoring Huntsville's fallen police officers this Christmas. What their families have to say about the tribute.
Plus, conditions are dry on 31 triple Doppler now, but they won't be for too long. I've got that forecast, plus a look at what you can expect for the Iron Bowl coming up.
And good evening to you. Thanks for joining me for WAAY 31 News at 10. I'm Nicole Williams. Well, tonight, 2 people are in the hospital and police custody after a chase in Muscle Shoals. Deputies tried to pull over Josh Henson today around 12:30 and noticed Henson had felony warrants. Henson led deputies on a chase spanning 5 miles near Highway 72 and Highway 20. The suspect's vehicle then turned into oncoming traffic, crashing into a guardrail. Only minor injuries are reported. Both Henson and his female passenger are receiving treatment and in custody tonight. Henson now faces more charges for attempting to elude officers. Well, the weather this week has felt fitting for a Thanksgiving holiday, right? But temperatures are expected to drop into the 20s in the coming days, if you can imagine that. Storm tracker meteorologist Grace Anello has those details.
Yeah, Nicole, can you believe it? 20s? I'm not ready for that. All right, take a look right now at the WAAY 31 Skycam network, powered by Thompson Roofing and Construction. At the moment, nowhere near the 20s. We're sitting in the mid and upper 40s, and over in Muscle Shoals, you're a touch warmer in the low 50s. But we've got cloudy skies and beautiful city lights shining through. 31 triple Doppler is completely dry from rain at 10:35 on your Friday evening. Now, we'll stay that way tomorrow, but by the time we get to Sunday, that isn't so much the case. 47 degrees in Athens right now, 46 in Gunnersville, and 42 in Haleyville. If you're headed out very late to take the dog out one last time, you better bundle up on your way out the door. When we first wake up tomorrow morning, we'll be about where we were today, sitting at 38 degrees. Now, we'll have a mix of clouds and sunshine tomorrow, but I'm going to go ahead and prep you now. It's going to be significantly more clouds than sunshine. By the time we head to the afternoon, though, I don't think that'll matter for very many of us, because I think you'll all be inside watching the Iron Bowl. Kickoff is at 2:30. Our high temperature for the day is coming at 61 degrees right before kickoff, and then we'll have more and more cloud cover come into the forecast later on Saturday evening and into Sunday. I'll walk you through that rain timing for what you can expect Sunday coming up in just a couple minutes.
Our hero of the day salute goes to World War II veteran Virgil Stanford of Posey Mill, Alabama. He served in the Army from 1942 and to the end of the war with the 361st Infantry Regiment of the 91st Infantry Division. After the war, he worked for the Franklin County Highway Department until he died in August of 1980. From all of us here at WAAY 31, we remember and salute the service of World War II veteran Virgil Stanford. And only on WAAY 31, the families of fallen officers gathered along the Tinsel Trail this morning to honor loved ones they've lost in the line of duty. WAAY 31's Jillian Kay spoke with wives and daughters of fallen officers as they hung special ornaments on the HPD tree.
For every family member I met with, the holidays just are not the same without the loved ones they've lost. But they tell me they try to put on a brave face and honor their memories.
You know, this tree is so much more than just a tree filled with ornaments. It's filled with memory and with love and dedication.
Ashley Clardy's husband, Billy, was a Huntsville stack agent, killed in action.
These guys go into this job knowing that they may not come home at night.
Today, she and several families of fallen officers honored their loved ones by hanging ornaments on HPD's Tinsel Trail tree. Taylor Crumby's husband, Garrett, was killed in March. This will be her first Christmas without him. She hopes people walking by the tree will
look at the ornaments, look at all the officers' faces and their end of watches, and just remember their families. This holiday season, we're still grieving, we're still mourning, no matter how long it's been.
For Emily Freeman, it's been 16 years since her dad was killed in the line of duty. She says no amount of time will make that pain go away.
You wake up and it's like the day all over again.
But she finds hope in the families who know too well what she's going through.
There is strength in the other families that have been here. Obviously, it's a bond that no one really wants, but it's one that we have.
Freeman says her brother followed in her dad's footsteps and their relationship grew stronger than ever.
The best thing by far to come out of it has been my relationship with my brother. He's an HPD officer now. His son, I held his son when we did the ornament.
Each family member says they want the community to see this tree and take time to reflect this holiday season and remember those who laid down their lives to protect and serve the Rocket City.
With the rap that all the officers are getting nowadays, there are some really good ones out there, and they really do love the city and they really do want to protect it and serve it.
The families ask that you keep them in your prayers this holiday season. You can come pay your respects here at the Tinsel Trail in Big Spring Park. It starts today and ends December 31st. In Huntsville, with coverage you can count on, Jillian Kay, WAAY 31 News.
All right, Jillian, thanks. Well, tonight, Mayor Tommy Battle is officially welcoming the Christmas season to Huntsville. Tonight, he lit the city's Christmas tree at Big Spring Park. Hear what he has to say right now about the tradition.
Community comes down and they see the hundreds of trees that are down here. They get to bring the families out, but all of it is part of what we call the holiday feeling, the Christmas feeling.
Well, it's been a pretty busy day out on the Shoals for Black Friday shopping. Step-by-step shoppers showed up early and stayed really all day long looking for bargains. Shoppers and workers we talked to say since sales started last week and this year has not been that bad.
I work at Hibbett Sports. It's been steady at my job. It's been pretty, not too busy, but it's busy. It keep us, moving around the store, working, running around, ripping and running. But it's fun. I enjoy it.
Ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready to go. Yeah, I'm done.
Are you really?
I am. We've been shopping all morning.
Well, it's been pretty good. It hadn't been as bad as it normally is.
Extra police officers were in place as a precaution across the Shoals and for shopping-related incidents. Well, tonight the Shoals is honoring 10 years of its local record label. I'll show you how they're celebrating in a big way. Tonight, one of the most successful Shoals recording studios is sounding off great music by some of the most popular music artists of all time. Single Lock Records, started by co-founder John Paul White, celebrated 10 years tonight. And they welcomed the Blind Boys from Alabama, Billy Allen, and the Polies, who performed on stage tonight at the Shoals Theater. These are just a couple of the musical artists getting national airplay that Single Lock Records recorded and produced. Echoes of the South by the Blind Boys from Alabama and Billy Allen and the Polies, All of Me are a few cuts featured this weekend.
Kind of a buffet of Single Lock Records music is really a great variety too. And you know, when you go from the fire of Billy Allen on stage and then and the legendary Blind Boys of Alabama and the Pine Hill Haints, you know, the Jamie and that crew, they're kind of off the wall. I just love their music, and so it's a huge variety and a really good show.
John Paul White is also a successful artist with Single Lock Records. He's a former Grammy winner for his work with duet Civil Wars.
Now, WAAY 31 Storm Tracker meteorologist Grace Anello with 31 Triple Doppler.
Only 37 degrees right now in Gadsden, 45 in Scottsboro, and 47 in Decatur. We are completely dry from rain on 31 Triple Doppler at 10:45 this evening. We'll stay that way tomorrow, but by the time we get to Sunday, all of that is about to change. Well, hey, speaking of tomorrow, when you first head out the door, make sure you grab a jacket with you. 38 degrees when that alarm clock first goes off, and I hate to break it to you, but we're going to have a cloudy morning on tap as well. So if you did happen to have any early morning plans, it might be a struggle to get out of bed early for those. However, what I know we all have is those afternoon Iron Bowl plans. Our high temperature sitting in the low 60s at 2 o'clock right before that very first kickoff. On Sunday, I'm tracking just a touch of rain entering into the area. It is not going to be a washout, but we will see some scattered showers starting first thing in the morning and lasting through lunchtime. Now, many of us that will see the rain will be south of the Tennessee River. Those closer to the Alabama-Tennessee state line will remain much drier, but we could see 1 or 2 drizzles in that area. However, most of us will stay dry if you do live north of the Tennessee River, and even all of us will stay dry as we head later through the afternoon. Take a look at our morning wake-up temperatures. Not too bad on Sunday, 42, but then on Tuesday and Wednesday morning, we'll be sitting in the mid and upper 20s respectively. Of course, that is significantly below average and much too cold for my liking. We've got that touch of rain on Sunday, and then we've got some sunnier conditions in the forecast, but much cooler weather at that. A warm front moves through on Friday morning, bringing scattered rain into the area with a wake-up temperature in the upper 30s at that point and a high temperature back close to average sitting in the low 60s. We'll keep rain in the forecast next weekend and Monday as well.
It's a special presentation of WAAY 31 Sports.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night. Hello, Alabama, find a comfortable spot. We got high school football and it's coming out hot. Now here we are and the lights are shining bright. We've always been. Yeah, WAAY 31 is rocking all right.
With Nolan, Max, and Xavier.
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
It's two of the best offenses in the state squaring off in our big game Friday night game of the week. Westminster Christian on the road to take on Brooks.
Well, in the 3A playoffs, it's an all-North Alabama showdown as Sylvania hit the road to take on the undefeated Madison Academy Mustangs.
Hello and welcome into our final edition of Big Game Friday night, everyone. Nolan Knight here, joined by Max Cohan. And Max, the quarterfinals are here, which means that we have a slew of great games to get to.
Yeah, and if your team is alive at this point in the season, it means you have a talented squad. Tonight, 11 North Alabama teams took the field with their dreams of advancing to the state semifinals.
Yeah, and that's what was on the line at our big game Friday night game of the week between the Brooks Lions and the Westminster Christian Wildcats.
Nolan and Max, I tell you, after tonight, only one team can advance to the semifinals and get one step closer to bringing home a blue map. Both the Lions and the Wildcats, they're having one of their best seasons in program history, but only one team can advance. Here at Brooks, where both the Lions and the Wildcats take the field, one team for the final time, players on both teams locked in and ready for a battle. First quarter, and we start with the Wildcats' opening drive. Henry Claunch takes this handoff, follows some good blocking, and turns this upfield for a solid Wildcats gain and the first down. And for a drive that didn't see much resistance from the Lions, quarterback Brandon Mush takes this design QB run into the end zone. Wildcats go up 7-0. Now, Brooks would like to respond, and do they ever? The tailback Omar Joyner cuts this one upfield, sheds one tackle, and it's Joyner on a mission before being forced out of bounds deep in Wildcats territory. Then with goal to go, Joyner and the Lions cross the end zone. Game tied at 7 apiece. Westminster would look to answer. And after another solid drive down the field, they dial up Mush's number again, and he bullies his way into the end zone. Wildcats with a 14-7 advantage. And after another Wildcats score, increasing the lead to 21-7, the Lions get it back. And Joyner says season not over just yet, fighting his way into the end zone for another score. But it was too much Westminster in this one, not only taking a 28-14 lead into halftime, but advancing to the state semis for the first time in school history with a 48-27 victory.
What does it mean, Coach? Man, it's just special because this group of seniors was 4-6. They were 4-6 as freshmen. They were 5-5 as sophomores. So the fact that they stuck around, they didn't quit on me. They didn't quit on each other. They stayed with it. And then they got in the weight room. They did the right things, and getting to see the fruits of it.
It honestly feels amazing, you know, compared to how we finished last year and just the tremendous amount of growth that this team has shown from this year into last year. You know, I could tell we put in so much work in the offseason, and you could tell that this is really a team. You know, we really love each other.
In Killen, coverage you can count on. Xavier Wary, WAAY 31 Sports.
So there you have it. Westminster will be advancing to the Class 4A state semifinals, and they'll take on the winners of this next game.
Yeah, two top 10 teams squared off at West Morgan as the Rebels hosted Cherokee County tonight. West Morgan Rebels working on a perfect season, entering Friday with a 12-0 record and facing the Cherokee County team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year. Warriors quarterback Jacob Cornejo clearly had that on his mind tonight. The senior on the keeper, and he's a gunner. But Cornejo can also let it fly. This time he eyes Ben Mosley. The defender sees it and tips it up, but Mosley won't let it fall and hauls it in. Cherokee County would go up 2 scores to cap the drive, and then the Rebels would respond. Braxton Peters going deep for Ty Mosley, and this one is also deflected, and Mosley is also there to grab it. This one going all the way as West Morgan cuts it to a 1-score game. And since it worked the first time, the Rebels run it back. It's Mosley on the slant, and he's going all the way again to tie it up. Only one team was able to hold the Rebels under 30 points this season, and it was the Warriors tonight. West Morgan's first loss of the season comes in the third round of the playoffs, 28-27.
Yeah, meanwhile, in Class 6A, we had a battle of two unbeatens as the Muscle Shoals Trojans hosted the undefeated Clay Chalkville Cougars. Muscle Shoals hoping to advance to the semifinals for the second year in a row, but they'd have to work from behind tonight. Hand off to Taurus Chambers, and the big back powers his way in for 6 to take a 7-0 lead. But here come the Trojans. Nat Hampton takes the handoff, sidesteps the defender, and picks up a hard-earned 5 yards. And then Cole Woods finishes off the drive. The senior quarterback calls his own number. He's around the far side and in for the score. And after the Cougars would reclaim their lead, Muscle Shoals went back down the field. Woods fires and connects with Haddon Vance to put the Trojans in field goal range, but they would be unable to cap off the drive with points, and they were unable to take down the Cougars. They fall in the quarterfinals, 44-27.
The Guntersville Wildcats have not made an appearance in the 4th round of the playoffs since 2006. A win over Pleasant Grove would end that streak tonight. And the Wildcats' last win over the Spartans came back in 1995. Guntersville hoping to change that tonight, getting off to a good start as Lakin Street Smith picks off Eric Hanley, and the Cats would put points on the board, taking a 3-0 lead with a Diego Lugo field goal. Guntersville's defense held tight for nearly the entire first half, but eventually Pleasant Grove broke through. Hanley to Montarius Towns, and all of a sudden the Spartans have a 7-3 lead, but it wouldn't last long as Guntersville takes a wild one, 31-21. They'll play Ramsey next week. All right, well, it's already time for us to call a timeout.
Yeah, but don't go anywhere, because when Big Game Friday Night returns, we turn our attention to Class 3A. Playoffs are in action. 4 North Alabama teams, all fighting for a chance to stay in the postseason.
Welcome back into our final big game Friday night of the season. The state quarterfinals took place across the state tonight.
Yeah, spot in the 3A semifinals was on the line at Madison Academy as the undefeated Mustangs hosted the Sylvania Rams, and this thing was a shootout. First quarter, and the Mustangs would strike first. Ken Cherry takes the handoff, makes a cut. He's out in space. You're not going to catch him. 7-0 ball game. Mustangs take the first lead of the game, but that's when Aiden Parham would join in on the action. Out of the Wildcat, the tailback would refuse to be denied. He powers in for the score to tie things up at 7. But the next time Madison Academy got the ball, they'd find pay dirt again. This time, Joshua Williams sprints in to claim the lead. Sylvania, though, with each punch they took, they would swing back. Aiden Parham says, anything you can do, I can do better. Takes the handoff and is gone. The two sides would exchange blows throughout the night, but in the end, it's Madison Academy that advances to the state 3A semifinals with a 35-28 win over the Rams.
Let's check in on another pursuit of a perfect season with the Lauderdale County Tigers, the winners of 12 straight, hoping to make it 13 as they host Geraldine. Now, the Tigers have won all 4 of their previous meetings with the Bulldogs, and they say you should never give up on a play. Well, that's my mistake on this run, but Carlos Mann doesn't care, escaping and turning a short gain into much, much more. The senior turns on the Jets and says, see you later, as the Bulldogs take a 7-0 lead. But the undefeated Tigers had a response. Micah Christensen out of the backfield and almost immediately into open space, and here comes the foot race. One Bulldog gave chase, but it was all bark, no bite this time. Though Lauderdale County would miss the extra point, so Geraldine still led by 1 when they took over again. This time it's Jackson Colvin who looks to the air for who else but Carlos Mann, and boy is he quick, hauling it in to double the Dogs' lead, and Mann showed why he's that dude tonight, scoring all 3 of the Bulldogs' first half touchdowns as Geraldine ends the Tigers' perfection 55-20, advancing to the 3A semifinals where they will take on the Mustangs.
Yeah, meanwhile, in the Class 2A playoffs, the Fife Red Devils were hoping to advance to the state semifinals for the 5th time in 6 years. They hosted undefeated Locust Fork at home tonight. We'll kick things off in the second half, and you can't talk Fife football without bringing up this man. Logan Anderson put on an absolute offensive clinic on the ground tonight, fighting through tackles and sprinting into the end zone for 6. Locust Fork undefeated heading into tonight, and they show why. Look at this scramble from quarterback Dylan Dino Embry. Lets one fly for Titus White, and the big wide receiver comes down with it to put Locust Fork into the red zone. Emery back with the ball. He breaks through the pocket here, pushing his way through a starting Fife defense to pick up a huge touchdown, a momentum shifter. Now down by just 2 scores, that momentum would end as Logan Anderson continued his dominant performance. Spin cycle, 6. One of the 8 touchdowns that the back scored tonight as the Fife Red Devils are headed to the Class 2A state semifinals with a 63-33 win over Locust Forks, and they'll take on the winners of this game.
The Pisgah Eagles have been playing football for a long time, but they've never made it to the 4th round of the playoffs in consecutive seasons. Tonight they had the chance to do it with a win over Tuscaloosa Academy. And when the Eagles are playing at home, they like to start fast, but they're down 3 when Mason Holcomb has Luke Gilbert wide open, and a one-on tackle won't be nearly enough to bring him down as he's got his eyes on the end zone, and his reservation for 6 is confirmed. Pisgah would make it an 8-point trip with a 2-point conversion. And while they were down early, the Eagles are flying high tonight again. You know, Legion McCrary found the end zone again as Pisgah charges on to the 4th round, taking down Tuscaloosa Academy 36-29.
And finally, let's finish up our coverage of the 2023 state quarterfinals in Class 1A. The Hackleburg Panthers 11-1 on the season, entering tonight hosting Coosa Christian with the spot in the state semis on the line. But in the end, it is the Coosa Christian's Conquerors who take this one 63-13, ending what was a great season for the Panthers. All right, guys, well, it's that time of the night to wrap things up here on WAAY 31 for our high school football season. Thank you so much for making Big Game Friday Night your home throughout this season. And, of course, thank you to all of our producers, editors, shooters, and production staff for making this show possible throughout this season. We would not have been able to do it for them. But big day tomorrow, Max.
Absolutely, the Iron Bowl. How could you not be excited? It's the biggest game.
Yeah.
Everybody's got it circled on their calendar every year. But also, remember, we're not done with high school football.
That's right.
We got a lot of high school football left. Hopefully, we're going for a couple more weeks.
Yeah,
not here.
6 teams make it to the state